Hey guys, Kevin with Godlike Incorporated here. I hope you're all doing great. When last we spoke, I mentioned or I announced that we are no longer distributing Maxon in North America. And first off, I want to thank all you guys that reached out to us and offered your support and positive comments. After that, it was really, really inspiring for us. Obviously, the past few months have been really challenging with this abrupt change, and you guys really you made us feel great. You warmed our hearts and gave us inspiration for doing more good work. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. One thing I didn't mention in that video is that even though we're no longer working with Maxon Japan, we are continuing our relationship with former Maxon head engineer Susumu Tamura. So Mr. Tamura and I have developed a fairly solid working relationship over the past several years. As we worked on the Maxon custom shop, we seemed to work well together, and we keep in contact, and we were in the process of working on some of these new Maxon custom shop models when Maxon Japan dropped this bomb on us, and I mentioned this to Mr. Tamura to get his thoughts and opinions and whatnot. And what he decided to do out of the kindness of his heart was to help us out and offer us a modification for the Ibanez TS808. So without further ado, we introduce to you the Ibanez Tamura-modded TS808. As you guys probably know, Mr. Tamura did a mod for us for the Maxon OD808. It's called the Apex 808. For those of you that aren't familiar with this story, I'll give you the summary. So Mr. Tamura has a friend in Japan who's a pedal collector and owns one vintage Ibanez TS808 that sounds fantastic, better than any other TS808 that this guy has heard. So he asked Mr. Tamura to spec out the pedal to figure out why it sounds better than all the other ones. So Mr. Tamura did this. It was like a little personal project for him. It took him about 3 years, and he went through hundreds of different 808, TS808 variants, and basically he narrowed this down to the fact that there is an op amp in certain vintage TS808s that was only used in very short production runs, and for some reason this op amp sounds head and shoulders above all the rest. And so Mr. Tamura sourced this op amp, and that's what we put in the Apex 808. I think the Apex speaks for itself. It's a fantastic sounding pedal. You guys, a lot of you guys bought them from us. Thank you for that. Very positive response to that pedal over the past 2 years or year and a half that we were selling it. So what Mr. Tamura did with the Apex was we just changed the op amp, but there were some other component changes that could be done to the circuit to kind of fine tune it and make it sound even closer to a vintage TS808. And that's what Mr. Tamura offered to us with this new Tamura-mod TS808. So what you have is the core of the mod is the Magic IC from Mr. Tamura. This is our remaining supply, but we can get more from Mr. T. So we change out the op amp. We also change out specific resistors and capacitors for certain values and brands and types based on Mr. Tamura's specifications. And then we also swap out the clipping diodes for these gorgeous new old stock Toshiba Germanium diodes that we sourced. And you can look at the date code there on this reel. This is a reel of 10,000 Germanium diodes from Toshiba. Date code 7/19/89. So a few years after the TS808 came out, but as close as we can get in this situation here. You can see the little Toshiba logo stamped on there. So we got a big reel, 10,000 of these babies to put in the Tamura-mod TS808. In addition, we also swap out the chiclet switch for a plunger switch. It is not true bypass. It still uses the electronic switching, but it's a soft click switch. But we like the plunger type better, and it's a little more reliable than the chiclet switch. So that's the mod. It sounds fantastic, as all of Mr. Tamura's work does, And we shot some footage last week with our standard demo guy, our regular demo guy, Ray Sui, where he takes you through the mod. We compare it to a stock TS808. We also compare it to this beast, which we got, the hand-wired TS808, which I got. I want to send shouts out to the Pick store in Seattle, Washington, that I got this from. They did a fantastic job of packing this baby. I've never seen a packaging job better than that. They actually even included the original Ibanez shipping carton, so I was really happy with that purchase as well. So shouts out to Pick store in Seattle, Washington. And we also compare it to the Apex 808, so you guys can get an idea of, you know, the various subtle differences between these different pedals. I don't want to say any of them are better or worse. I think that's a subjective issue, and everybody has to find their own, you know, preference. But they all sound great, and they all have specific characteristics. So hopefully you'll find one that, you know, that appeals to you. So those videos with Ray will be up shortly, and then we're going to start taking pre-orders on these. We're just waiting for a shipment of foot switches to come in, and I think we have all the other parts now in stock, and we're going to start offering these for sale, modding them and shipping them out. So keep your eyes peeled on our e-blasts and on the website, so you can see when the announcement is made when we start taking the pre-orders. And then one other thing I want to mention about this is that in case you're not aware, there are major production delays in the music products industry at this point in time. I've heard that Fender and PRS have up to 6-month lead times on musical instruments. I've heard some components are just not even available at this point with no restock date. So I think what we're seeing right now is kind of the aftermath of the pandemic slowdown, where people sold through their inventory, and now the raw materials and the components that are used to make the products are not available. So Ibanez has a long wait list on TubeScreamers. We were fortunate enough to get 100 of them. We have them in stock right now. Those are the ones we're going to mod for this. And we have some others on order with Ibanez for delivery in the fall, but we're not sure when we're going to get them or how many we're going to get. So this Tamura-mod TS808 is kind of going to be a stopgap for us as we work on some other projects, and it's going to be kind of hit or miss whether we have them or not. So if you're really interested in this, I suggest you grab them now, and hopefully we'll be able to, you know, fill all the orders that we get, and as things kind of normalize as we move into the new year, hopefully we'll be able to get a regular production of these and get these out to you guys. So that's it. Tamura-mod TS808 from Godlike Incorporated. So we're looking forward to doing this for you, and we're excited to be working with Mr. Tamura. For you guys that have the Apex or have vintage TS808s or the hand-wired, and this is not something up your alley, all I can say is stay tuned, because we're going to be working on more projects with Mr. Tamura, and we've got some really interesting things coming for you. So we're excited about it. We're looking forward to it, and we're happy to be partnered with Mr. Tamura. So thank you again for everything, and keep your eyes peeled. Check out Ray's videos when they post, and make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell notification so that you get updates when we announce and release new videos. Okay? Thanks, guys. Cheers.